na dey visit.
Your name, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Mrs. Oluremi Akinola Aguda, the widow of the late jurist and former CJ of Botswana, a commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR. Honorable Justice Dr. Akinola Aguda. I'm a legal practitioner and a notary public.
We are one of the occupants of this Ogba shopping arcade built by the under the President Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. What is your opinion of this building, this arcade in this vicinity? What do you think of it? What difference do you think it makes to the community?
Well, to say the fact, the shopping arcade is a well-organized, well-planned complex for the people of Ogba, and it's caused the executive governor Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu highly, as usual, because he's a governor with a difference. He has always brought new things into the administration of the state. He has always brought in foreign ideas, because I know that he's very much American, if you permit me to say. He has always brought in new ideas to enhance the position of Lagos State in the Federation and as a commercial center for that matter. This Ogba arcade, this Ogba shopping arcade, is one of those shopping centers that doubles for both shops and offices. And without prejudice to some of the irregularities that we have come across when we moved in here, it is a very good place, and it's centralized. It's in the center of Ogba and the Ijaiye area. The only snag is that the menace of the Danfo drivers may lessen the positive position of this complex, because each time in the mornings when we come in, you find the Danfo drivers always hemming us in here, lining the whole frontal of the complex, and that may not augur well for decent people.
How do you think this? We know Lagos State is a commercial now center of Nigeria. How do you think this shopping complex will contribute to the commercial activities of Lagos State as per Ogba community?
Well, I did mention it that the complex is centrally positioned, because before you can consider the commercial effect or the commercial importance of a complex like this, you have to consider its positioning. That's why I mentioned at first that it's centrally positioned at Ogba here and Ikeja as a whole. Then this area is a populated area, is a thickly populated area. It's not in a remote place. So that's why I say that the complex is not remotely positioned to the people. It's very close to the people, in a nutshell.
Thank you.
the people that are organizing the drainage dock people, they're not doing the job properly. They pack the gutter and then they pack the refuse by the gutter, and before you know, it fell back into the gutter again. So they don't make it just making empty noise. The gutter is not clean. The refuse everywhere. So it's not doing anything about that. We need more. We have to get Lagos sanitized. You talk about New York, London, America. You keep on talking about those places. This thing is built there now. Come back next year to be very dirty. Sewage everywhere. You see the cars all over there now. This place they are messing up the face. And this is $1 million something. So you need to get that place cleaned up. So that's the only thing I think you should do more. You're welcome.
Sorry, every time.
Alright.
Camera. Hello. Okay. What's your opinion about this shopping? What difference does it make to Ogba community as a resident in Ogba?
Well, as a resident in Ogba, it's very good and it's very attractive. People like it and it's very fine. And then we want the government to let the price. People have been complaining that the price is too much, and all the people can afford it, so that they will not a person that have money that can afford it to take it. Let people that a little people that can take it, collect it. People will like it and it's very admired. It's very good, and we thank Bola Tinubu for that. So,
thank you, ma'am. What is your opinion of this shopping arcade that Dr. Bola Tinubu has done in Ogba?
Well, it's a nice opportunity for those who are unable to have shops. It's a very good thing, and we encourage this to happen more and more, so that Governor Tinubu more things like this. We really appreciate it. It's a very nice plan for the youth and everybody.
What difference do you think it will make to Ogba vicinity as a resident?
It will make
the commercial activity.
Yeah, it will make Ogba being popular place for everybody to be as a shop and do a lot of things, activities. Like example, TLC, everybody that come in. There's a lot of eateries out there that everybody that now know that Ogba is well coming place that everybody can just go there and eat and shop anyway. So it's a very nice place and a very nice things to do in Ogba. There's so many things we want Tinubu to do in Ogba. So Ogba is a very great place to be.
Thank you very much.
Because that's the lesson. What you pick up the goa, if you go to back of the tika, you have to go to focus. I love what you go to security.
Kini has been showing.
Video. Camera. Follow what? Tẹ́ ẹ bá jẹ́ yẹn ní ìbá àdá sí ó dá sí ẹ̀yẹ kò sí tó lè abẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀kọ́jú títà ẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́jú títà lẹ̀. Ìbílẹ̀ sọ pé fẹ́ lọ ẹ̀dẹ̀ tún gbé lọ.
Built a lot of houses in Lagos in recent times, like the Ogba shopping arcade and Sherry North housing that is being built now, the one at Lekki. I'd like to know your opinion. What do you think about all these estates being built?
Well, the governor is trying, and the Lagos government is doing a very good job. But the advice that I have is that most of these houses are not for poor men, and I want the little one like a 2 bedrooms that can, which a poor man can afford, like a 50 to 60,000 naira. Because most of the new ones that we just build, they are millions, and a lot of people cannot afford that kind of money. So I'm advising the government to make sure that they build the low-cost house for the poor people.
What do you have to say about the LSDP?
The LSD is doing a very good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. Bye-bye.
You heard about Lagos State They've been building estates. There is one behind here, the Sherry North, Ogba shopping complex. What is your view about what they do?
Well, I think the Lagos State government are doing a good job. At least they are trying to provide houses for the low privilege and the salary earners workers. I think it's a good thing. They should keep it up, and I think this should even apply to the all the states in Nigeria, not just Lagos State alone. I think that will improve our housing and standard of living.
Some people believe this shape of building houses has saved them from falling victims of power. I know people have to buy houses. What do you think? Do you agree?
I think that
it has helped them.
Okay,
you know people fall victims of 419. Come and buy a land, come and buy this building. Meanwhile, if they like, they'll just collect the money and off. So what do you think? What do you believe this is?
I believe this view. At least this has stopped all these miscreants, all these 419 now, as I said the other time. It has stopped the activities for at least a little bit. You know, we are buying from the government, it's going to be genuine because the guy wants to pay, there's a receipt, and even if the house is not given to you, you can easily get your money back. You are getting the house from a reliable source. Their own can be died with someone, it can be falling.
Thank you very much.
Alright.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your name?
My name is Tayo Johnson Badekale.
Tayo
Johnson Badekale.
Badekale.
Yes.
Okay. You've heard of LSDPC, and presently under Governor Tinubu's administration, they've been building so many houses. So many people are owners of houses. What is your opinion about LSDPC? What do you think of this idea?
Anyway, it's a good project. It's a good, so far that people that are supposed to have it, I mean the poor masses, if they could benefit from it, it's a very good idea and it's a welcome project.
Some people, recently some said it's a good idea because it saves some people from falling victims of 419. We've all heard of somebody that will approach you, come and buy a house, meanwhile it's a lie, they just collect the money and vamoose. What do you think? Do you agree with this statement?
Yes, I do. I do agree. But there is a saying, a common saying, whereby people as well been saying that these houses are for big people, which I was not yet confused. I believe in it that it is for general public. You understand? Because I have not heard of anybody in my own range sort of that have benefit from this housing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We build, you know Ogba shopping complex, that new place that just built.
Yes.
And then build this house. And so many plenty houses like that. Now, are they doing a good job?
Yes, they are doing a good job. At least they are using it to help people in the society. At least people can easily take a house there, then live comfortably.
Thank you. How did you become a participant of SME? What led you to be, because obviously being a participant, you're an employer of labor. So what led you to being a participant?
Thank you very much. My name is Abiodun Anirare Akinlua, the Chief Executive Officer of Akinlua Abiodun International Company. What actually led me into SMEs, I have a firm belief of myself. I want to do things for myself. I don't want my time to be regulated. I want a situation whereby the little thing that I'm doing, I want to make sure I help myself and help others. My last paid employment was in 1979. Since then, I've been on my own. Since 1980, I've been on my own. Because of the situation of the country, anybody that is honest, let me borrow the word of Amadou Shuaibu, will continue to fumble and wumble. At the end of the day, he will be eating. So that is what actually led me to business.
The constraints encountered here in this industry.
There are so many constraints. Now you can see for yourself the problem of NEPA. No water. You will need to provide borehole. You will need to provide generator. In fact, my generator that is down there is 75 kV. I spent more than 700,000 naira to repair it before I got fed up. And the generator is down there. If not because of that Indian technology generator that I'm using, that cannot even be able to do my work. So there are so many problems facing us as a small-scale industrialist. No no help from anywhere, no fund. There is no loanable fund from the government. Everything you do by yourself. So there are so many constraints, multiple taxes, embarrassments from our landlord, the Ministry of Commerce and Industries, where you did not do anything and you are unable to pay rent. What you see is they will not come down here to come and find out where you are not, why you are not working, or why you are not paying, why you are defaulting. But what you see is coming up to lock up the units. So many constraints.
So, but with all this, what is your relationship with the present administration? That is the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Well, 2 years ago, it was like before 2 years ago, the administration does not know whether this matter is even surviving or whether it is even existing. So the present crop of executive of NASI went to see the Speaker and the Chairman House Committee on Commerce and Industry. We made so many submissions. The relationship has been cordial. They came here to visit us. We told them all the problems we are facing. But thank God, I think with the Deputy Governor, Mr. Femi Pedro, that is in charge of this place and other parastatals in Lagos State, I think there is still hope. He has personally visited us. He has promised us so many things, and the commissioner too. For about 2 years we don't have a commissioner in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, but now I think an erudite, dynamic and young man has just been appointed in the person of Mr. Lanre Balogun. I'm sure with the Deputy Governor and him at the heads of affairs of the ministry, there is hope for the SMEs in Lagos State.
What do you see in the future of SME in Lagos State?
You see, what I think will be the better achievement of the SMEs in Lagos State, what we need is encouragement. You know, we are the biggest employer of labor. For example, in this company, up to about this time last year, I have more than 25 workers working in this company. But presently, I have less than 5. Because of all the aforementioned problems, no NEPA, no patronage from the government. Even though the population of Lagos is about 15 million. But then people still prefer to buy imported materials as against the one that are being produced locally. So if government should try and encourage us, let them do. You see, the government is trying, but most of the things they claim they are doing for the SMEs are on the pages of newspaper, like the SMEs, equity participation. The bankers committee are not interested in our type of business, and by the definition of SMEs in Nigeria, from 1 naira to 200 million, Whereas an average SMEs, their business will not be more than maybe maximum of 10 million. So the bankers committee will not be interested in putting money into such a small venture. But if the government, I mean the Lagos State government, can set aside an amount of money for the SMEs in Lagos State in form of a loanable fund that we can be assessing, then I'm sure we will have something to proud of in the future.
What is the contribution of SME to the economic growth of Lagos State? We know Lagos State is the economic club center of Nigeria. So to maintain this position, what is the contribution of SME to the growth?
I'm even very happy for that question. If you look at the employment generation in Lagos State, the population of all the civil servants together, all put together in Lagos State, they are not up to 20% of the workforce. It is we in the small scale industrial cadre that provide employment generation. In this estate alone, I'm sure this is Maturi Industrial Estates. I'm sure what we are contributing to the GDP of Lagos State in terms of employment generation, in terms of rent payments, in terms of name it, we are doing well, which is why the government itself should strive very hard to encourage us further. We have advised them to open industrial estates in every local government in the states. Now we have about 57 local governments, local council areas. If there can be industrial estates sited in all the 57 local government areas, and each industrial estate employ 5,000 people in a month. Yeah, you know what that means. So we are appealing to the government.
How do you source for materials locally?
Like in my area of
your own?
Yes, like in my own field. I am into plastic manufacturing. We have petrochemical industries in Nigeria, but just like what is happening to the petroleum sector, the raw materials we use are solely imported resins that are being brought in by the Indians, and they are the one controlling it. So because we don't have money like them, about 2 weeks ago I bought a ton of material, HTP injection, for about 108,000. This week now the price has gone up to 132,000 naira per ton. So which makes it very, very difficult for us in the SMEs plastic section to actually grow. So if by the deregulation of the petroleum sector, if the petrochemical industries in Nigeria can be functioning, the raw materials are there. They are the byproduct of petroleum products. If the refineries are working and we have access to all those things, then I'm sure we will all be smiling. We will not be complaining. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
What led you to being an employer of Igbo?
Yeah. I first of all went into a school where I studied how to make food. And with that one, with the intention of establishing something. And if you are establishing anything, you need people to join you. It's not possible for you to do it alone. And that's what I did by establishing a factory and looking around and seeing that a lot of people are unemployed. Then I made sure that I employed from my immediate locality, so that much of the money they are collecting will not be used on transportation, as we are supposed to take care of our local area. That's why we have decided to be in Agege, which is densely populated, where we need to assist in reducing unemployment and reducing poverty. So this, looking at the way we satisfy the people working for us, it gives us joy to continue to be in manufacturing business.
What are the constraints encountered in this business, this venture?
Yeah, you know, like it happened to all manufacturing companies. Sometimes we talk of government policies not being favorable. And then, like we said, you know, this year alone, there has been price of fuel going up, and that one actually disrupted the way we do business. And then the purchasing power has also gone down. That if you go around manufacturing houses, you see that unsold goods are piling up. And this is what is we look at as the poverty level looks to be increasing. Because right now it's recorded to be about 70% Nigerians are below poverty level. And this may be partly due to the economic reform. The economic reform is compounding things as at now, but we look forward to a brighter days when the economic reform has been completed, when people actually know what government is doing about the economic reform, and you know, by the time everybody understands this thing, then by the time the economy now peaks, all of us will enjoy. But if all of a sudden the government abandons this thing, then it becomes another problem, just like it happened before when in 1979, by the time General Obasanjo was leaving, everybody had adjusted. But when the civilian administration came, they just opened gates and we started importing rice, importing furniture. Now we can see what that one has, where it has led us to. So we pray that the reform will continue and the government will remain focused, that we will enjoy at the end of the reform.
What contribution has the present administration, that is the administration of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, what contribution has the administration done so far for SME in Lagos State? Yeah,
it's during the regime of Asiwaju Tinubu, the independent power production came on stream, that we can now say NEPA has actually performed. If not because of what the governor has done, maybe by now we will not be getting as much steady as we are having the electricity now. So in that area we should commend the governor, and the effort is making in road construction and rehabilitation, we still look at him as someone who is focused in providing infrastructure that will make SME a viable sector of the economy. And in the area of provision of estates, because we need more industrial estates in Lagos State, and all these things are in pipeline, and we hope the governor will accelerate actions on this. Then the rehabilitation of industrial estates, we also see that the government is making efforts to do this thing, as seen by us. The deputy governor has been to the estate and he has seen this thing, and he has promised that everything will be done to make sure that SME in Lagos State is #1 in the country.
What is the future of SME in Lagos State? Okay, what hope? How do you see SME like 10, 20 years time in Lagos State?
With the present structure being put in place by NACI and the state government, I see the future of SME in Lagos State getting brighter by the day. And you know, with the new financial windows being opened every day, we see that SME we have better access to funding. And with this one, in the next 10 years, say in the next 5 years, the SME in Lagos State will actually rank with those in other countries, because talking of SME in Nigeria, you are talking of SME in Lagos State, because all along you have more concentration of SME in Lagos than the remaining part of the country.
What specific areas do you want the government to help SME?
Yeah, we need the government, according to what the deputy governor said, that he is ready, because he is from the private sector, and he is ready to assist the SMEs in Lagos State in getting consultants to package our projects, for the projects to be bankable, for the finance services to be attracted to these viable projects. And then he also promised of assisting in organizing training workshops for the SME. And you know, with this one, there are all the things that indicate us that the deputy governor actually knows what we want. And we would want the government to actually speed up action in assisting our members to get soft loans. And then, you know, being a banker, and he has promised that he would call the banks to accelerate action in doing in assisting members. We also we are appealing to him to speed up action in order for us to expand our businesses within the shortest possible time. And this will actually go a long way in reducing unemployment in Lagos. We also want the building of industrial parks or industrial estates to start immediately, and the government can actually involve the private sector in building of these estates. In other countries like South Africa, there are some industrial estates that were actually built by insurance companies and then let out to SMEs. The same thing can actually happen in Nigeria, And as a matter of fact, this means money that we are all saying that they are not released to SME. This can be used in building industrial parks if the state government can put up a proposal that this money can actually be used in this form, and the other part of the money can be used in purchasing equipment for the small scale industrialists. And this thing, like their provision for microcredits, that's 10% of the Smith's money. This 10% is for the as microcredits to small or cottage industries. This money can actually be used in purchasing equipment for the members of SME and put in these industrial parks. This will actually go a long way with if we have the government backing, and it will be more effective.
What is the contribution of SME to the economic growth of Lagos State?
Thank you. We have over the years been contributing to the economic development of Lagos State. One, we employ staff. These staff all pay their pay to Lagos State through our small scale companies. And we take part in all the economic summit of Lagos State. We put on our own contribution, and then we, from time to time, our association, we put up proposals how things should be done in Lagos State to generate money. And like we are talking of recycling of waste, which we actually make Lagos State clean and clean for life. Like you have these poly bags, which as a result of production of pure water mainly, but there are other sources of nylon coming into the system, but the most pronounced one happened to be this 5 naira pure water sachet. And the suggestion we brought to the government is to recycle this nylon. If they are recycled, we will get like producing doors, window frames, photo frames, all sorts of household goods and industrial goods, like producing pallets from the waste. And this, by the time these wastes are generated, or these wastes are carried to the factory site to be recycled, you discover that Lagos State, the channels, the gutters, everywhere will be clean, and there wouldn't be a single nylon flying about. When solution was found to rubber sanders, by recycling rubber sanders, you discover that you don't see rubber sanders around because they are effectively removed. Like you get to dump sites, seeing people removing used sanders and then selling them. The same thing will happen to nylon. If you are drinking pure water, before you finish, someone is waiting by your side to take it. So at that point, we find out that there wouldn't be any waste, any nylon in the premises, and Lagos State will be a better place to live.
When your company started from Lagos State Incubator, Ogba, from that, before you got your own personnel, what were the support you got from the government? What were their tenants?
Sorry, I started before I got to Incubator. So I was in Incubator briefly because of the location of Incubator. You know, it was small. Maybe you have to cut something. Don't worry, you now cut it later. It was more central that was why we used the incubator center. And at the incubator center, we operated there for 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, we got the Best Tenant Award for being there, because we knew what we were doing. And we got support of the Lagos State government, because Lagos State government actually contributed the major part of the money used in establishing the incubator in Penn Cinema. And when I was about to leave the incubator center in 1978, I approached Ministry of Agric about having a warehouse that is not used, that I can put in shape and start using as a factory. That was when I approached Lagos Ministry of Agric, and I was lucky. I got one which I leased, and then we took over the possession of the place, and it was in a bad state. It has been vandalized, but we had to put it in place, and we reactivated and put it in shape, and that's where we are today. So in that case, you know, I don't have any choice other than to be loyal to the Ministry of Agric and to the